The snow had been falling since noon, but by 6 in the evening, it had become something else entirely, a whiteout, a wall of white fury that swallowed streets and silenced the city. If you believe in kindness, second chances, in the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. Marcus Webb pulled his coat tighter around his 7-year-old son. Danny, who was tucked against his side like a small, shivering bird. Their car had died 3 blocks back. The old engine finally surrendering to the cold after years of stubborn loyalty. "Just keep walking, buddy," Marcus said, his voice steady even as his heart hammered. "We're almost home." Danny didn't complain. He never did. That was the thing about kids who grew up watching a parent fight alone. They learned early that complaining cost energy nobody could afford. Marcus had been fighting alone for 4 years, ever since his wife left. And in that time he had learned to cook, to braid hair badly, to read bedtime stories in funny voices, and to stretch a paycheck across 14 days, like a magician with very little magic left. He worked as a maintenance supervisor for the city's public works department, a job that kept the pipes running and the lights on for thousands of people who never once thought about the man making sure those things worked. He was good at it. He was proud of it. He just wished it paid a little more. They were halfway down Calloway Street when Marcus nearly tripped over her. A woman in a sharp wool coat was crouched beside a luxury car that had slid into a snowbank, her phone pressed to her ear, her voice tight with frustration. She was alone, elegantly dressed for an office, completely unprepared for a storm that had turned the city into a frozen wilderness. "Ma'am," Marcus said, stopping, "are you all right?" She looked up. Her eyes were dark and tired, the kind of tired that comes not from one bad night, but from years of carrying something heavy. "My car is stuck and my driver can't get through," she said. "I've been out here 20 minutes. Marcus looked at Danny, then at the woman, then at the sky that was dropping temperatures faster than sense allowed. "My apartment is 2 blocks from here," he said simply. "You can wait out the storm there. It's warm. I have soup." She hesitated. Every instinct trained by years of boardrooms and background checks told her to be cautious. But the cold was brutal, and this man's face held something she recognized without being able to name it immediately, the quiet, unshakable dignity of someone who had never had the luxury of being careless. "Thank you," she said. "I'm Claire, Marcus, and this is Danny." Danny, because he was 7 and had not yet learned adult suspicion, held out his hand formally. "Nice to meet you, Claire." She shook it, and for the first time in hours, something softened in her face. The apartment was small, warm, and full of evidence of a life carefully managed. A child's drawings covered the refrigerator. Library books were stacked on the coffee table. The kitchen smelled like the tomato soup Marcus had left in the slow cooker that morning, trusting the day to cooperate, which it had not. Claire sat at the small kitchen table, still in her coat, still holding herself with the posture of a woman who ran meetings, while Marcus moved through his kitchen with the quiet efficiency of someone who had learned to do everything alone. He heated soup, made grilled cheese sandwiches, cut into triangles because Danny preferred them that way, and set 3 places without ceremony or fuss. Danny told Claire about his science project, about his best friend Javier, about the time his dad fixed the school's broken heating system over a weekend, so the kids wouldn't miss Monday classes. Marcus looked embarrassed. "It was nothing," he said. "The principal called. I had the parts in my truck." Claire watched him carefully. "You went on a weekend? Voluntarily?" "The kids needed heat," Marcus said, as if that were the only explanation necessary, because to him it was. They talked through the storm. Not about careers or titles. Those things didn't come up because Marcus didn't ask and Claire didn't offer. They talked about raising children alone, about the guilt that never fully leaves, about the strange pride of watching a small person become someone good despite everything. Around 9 o'clock the storm broke. The plows cleared Calloway Street, and Claire's driver finally got through. She stood at the door, her coat buttoned, her composure fully restored except for something small and genuine in her eyes. "Thank you, Marcus," she said, "for the soup and the shelter." "Stay safe," he said, and meant it the way only people who understand real danger ever do. He didn't ask for her last name. He didn't give her his card. It simply didn't occur to him. 3 weeks later, Marcus received a call from the city's Office of Infrastructure and Emergency Systems. A new director had taken over, a woman named Claire Donovan, and she was rebuilding the emergency response division from scratch. She had requested Marcus by name. She had remembered everything. The slow cooker left on in faith, the sandwiches cut into triangles, the weekend heating repair done without applause or overtime, the man who stopped in a blizzard because a stranger was cold. She didn't need someone who looked good in a boardroom. She needed someone who knew what broke, why it broke, and how to fix it before anyone noticed it was gone. Marcus took the job. He brought his real-world knowledge into rooms that had always been filled with people who only knew reports and projections. He built emergency protocols that actually worked because he had lived through the emergencies they were designed to handle. Danny got new books, a better school district, and a father who came home tired but proud in a way that children can always feel. And Claire, who had spent years believing that strength meant standing completely alone, learned again what she had almost forgotten, that the bravest thing a person can do, in a storm or in life, is accept a warm hand when it is offered freely. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel Kindness True Stories, where every story reminds you that one simple act of kindness can change everything forever.